Hey, what is up, nation? In this session, I'm going to teach you the fundamentals of groups and components. One of the biggest mistakes that I see new Sketchup users make is not utilizing groups and components or not using them properly. One of the things that is really beautiful about SketchUp is that it allows you to mold things to be what you want. If I was to make a box and push and pull it, I can move these endpoints in a very sort of fluid way. But I may want at some point to move this. And if it's not a group or component, it's really hard to do that. If I start pulling this out to the right, it's going to move everything with it. So you want to avoid stuff like that when you have a geometry that you love and you want to keep that geometry pure. So that's when you use things like groups. And I have a habit of using lots and lots of groups because it's incredibly helpful. So to make a group, all you do, I'm going to delete this guy right here. All you do is right click and you hit make group. You can see this is a group, and if I make a copy, so I'm just hitting M to move and then Control to make a copy, I can now move these independently and they're not stuck. But again, if I was to explode this and then select this and try to move it, it's going to pull that with it. And you start to make some interesting geometries, but a lot of times that's not what you want. You want to be able to have these pure geometries that are independent of everything else. I've opened files before and I've seen everything stuck together, and it just becomes very difficult to edit things when you don't have groups separating items. I just downloaded this 3D Plaza from the Sketchup warehouse, and this is something that you need to be cautious of when you do that. The 3D warehouse is amazing. Anybody can upload stuff to it. You can find really great things. And then sometimes the modeling isn't the most perfect. If I wanted to change this fenced-in shrubbery to, let's say, a planter box, what I would do is I would come in here and click. And what you can see is that everything other than the fountain is connected. So when I start to edit, it becomes increasingly difficult if I want to move this up. You can see that the geometry of this fence starts coming with the file. So, and there's really no way to fix this easily. You just have to go back and remodel and regroup things. So there's just something to be really cautious of as you're modeling. And this just shows why using groups and components is so essential in modeling. Now, I converted this to a group, but components essentially make the same instance of a group. So if I want to make, let's say, 5 of these, I'm going to copy that there and then hit 5. And all of these I want to be the same. If I edit this one, it's a group. Nothing happens to the other ones. They're all independent of each other. However, if I was to undo that and then right click on this and say make component, it's going to give me this little component window, and I can give it a name. So I'm going to just call it mass 1. Then we're going to copy this another distance, again 5. And I start editing this. Let's say I want to take this off. All of those are altered. So that's really useful. This helps save or cut down on your file sizes by using components. So if you're having issues because you have a lot of groups but you don't have components and you have repeated geometries, I would suggest using components because it will make your life a whole lot easier and it will reduce your file size. I made all of these the same, but now I've decided I want every other one to be different. What you can do is come in here, I'm going to hit Control to get this little plus sign next to my arrowhead, and I can just select these 3, right click on it and hit make unique. So what that does is it makes a separate component for these 3 that I just selected. So now if I want to delete this line, these 3 are edited, but these 3 stay the original. So just give you some flexibility on what you can what you can do and how you can make a component and then later edit it. The final thing that I want to show is that you can actually right click and save a component as. That's basically, it'll save a new Sketchup file with just this component. So you can start to develop a library where you have all of your components, so you can bring them in later. And then if I wanted to, you can reload. And basically that's like loading in a SketchUp file, and it'll replace your component with whatever that SketchUp file is. So hopefully this helped. If you like this video, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends. And as always, happy hacking.
All right, designers, just because this episode of Designer Hacks is over doesn't mean we're leaving you out in the cold. Tony's got tons of great content available at designerhacks.com. So join Design Nation right now, and we'll see you on the next episode of Designer Hacks.